Good day, YouTube. Back today with another quick review of another knife. Today we have the Civivi Elementum. Picked this one up off of Amazon after one of the groups that I belong to on Facebook. It was recommended to someone who's kind of looking for a budget-friendly flipper with really nice fit and finish. Went on Amazon, checked out the price. This came in at $52.50, not including tax, and so I scooped one up and thought I'd give it a quick review. The details on this one, it's a D2 blade, so that's really nice. 7 inches overall. The cutting edge is 2.96 inches, and this thing comes in at a slim 2.74 ounces. The particular model that I got was the satin finish, so really nice. They did a really good job coating the blade with Micarta handles, as well as this flipper is running on ceramic ball bearings. Similar to my last videos, first I'm going to go through the pros, and then I will cover some of the cons based on my experience with this. All told, I've only had this knife for a few days now, but it's been in my pocket. I've been flipping, kind of playing with it, and I have a pretty good idea of how this knife is going to be performing. So the first pro is the cost. Again, $52.50. It's coming in less than most of the knives you see out there. It's around the same price as a CRKT or a Gerber or something like that. And so that was when I was comparing this to past experience with that type of blade at that price point. That's what I compared it to. The other pro, it's definitely lightweight. Again, it's coming in under 3 ounces. This thing disappears in your pocket. It has a really nice deep carry clip on there. You really don't even notice it once you throw it in. The next pro for me was came with actually surprisingly nice packaging for a knife at this price point. It came in its own little bag, nice zipper pouch. Came with a sticker, so always gotta love the slaps. A little cleaning cloth, which again is kind of surprising to see on a knife that's this cheap to come in with a cleaning cloth. It's not a Chris Reeve or anything like that. And then on top of that, came with a really nice box. This thing is made in China, which I know some people will have or take issue with. I don't really have an issue with that. Again, if the knife performs, I'd really, I don't really have any complaints. It's not a moral dilemma for me or anything like that. If a knife performs as advertised and it fits my needs, I'm gonna pick it up. The next pro that I've covered in a few of my other videos, the blade centering. So right out of the package, super centered. I like that. I wasn't expecting it to be, given how cheap this knife was, but I mean, they really knocked it out of the park with the blade centering. I also think that this knife has a very appropriate blade thickness. It's not overbuilt, but it suits the design and the purpose of this knife, so I really like to see that. The next pro is this knife as a flipper is very fidget friendly. I've sat with it a couple hours, just kind of firing the action, going back and forth, and the action is pretty addictive. It has a nice lockup. I mean, obviously, given the lock bar and everything like that, it's not as thick as say a Chris Reeve or a Strider or something like that, but for what it is, the lockup is really nice. It's a lot more fidget friendly than say a mini Griptilian, which is about the same size. A lot more fun. I like flippers for that reason. The next pro I've noticed right out of the box was the blade sharpness. Again, this is D2 steel. I mean, it's hair popping sharp right from the factory. I haven't had to touch it up or anything. Sometimes when I buy knives, I'm actually surprised that they leave the factory with such a dull edge, but this thing came hair popping sharp, which is really nice. The next pro is it really is just an all-around great EDC blade. I do have more expensive knives, obviously. I'll be reviewing them in the future, but I do like a knife that I can kind of beat the hell out of. Serves its purpose, and if I lose it, I'm I'm not gonna start crying or start throwing stuff. So this one at $52 to your door, I think it's a really good way to go, and just a really great all-around EDC package. I covered the pocket clip here, deep carry, really nice, no proprietary screws on this thing. I think they did a really nice job for what it is. The next pro for me, which actually started as a con, was the satin finish on this blade. I do think sometimes cheaper knives, when they attempt to do a satin finish, it actually ends up looking a little bit cheesy and more like a gas station knife. But the more I kind of looked at this thing closely, like there's some smudges on it right now, just from my fingers, but they did a really nice job with the satin finish on this blade. I was very impressed. Kind of more of like a stonewash guy, or tumbled look, but this thing is really growing on me, so the satin finish is definitely a pro. The last pro is the fact that this knife comes with a lifetime warranty. It is limited, but it's a lifetime warranty for any manufacturer's defects, and I haven't ever tried to nor heard any stories about someone kind of invoking the warranty that this blade comes with, but hopefully I won't find out. But that's nice that they have it right on the box with the QR code. Yeah, that's nice that they kind of put that out there in the open should anything go wrong with your blade. Next, we're going to get into some cons, and I'll kind of quickly go through this. I don't have too many like huge cons, just because, like I said, for how cheap this knife is, I mean, you can be nitpicky with it, but I mean, what, at the end of the day, for how much you spent on this thing, the cons are really minimal. One of the cons, or things that I would have liked to see, is the flipper tab. I would have liked it to be a little bit more pronounced. Again, this is a flipper, and I know it's kind of like a front flipper tab that's actually on the back. Like, it was very reminiscent of a front flipper tab for me. I'm used to kind of, hinders and zero tolerances that have that really protruding flipper tab, which actually serves to, keep your finger off the blade when you're using it, but then also, makes you be able to like hit this thing every single time. You do have to adjust your grip a little bit more, since it's, just doesn't really stick out that far. If it was a little bit longer, I feel like it would make this thing more comfortable and more fidget friendly, but again, no real drama there. The next con, or something that I noticed, was the Micarta scales on this thing are very slippery. I haven't had it wet, haven't had sweaty hands using it, but right from the get-go, these things are slick. And contrast that to like in Emerson, which I know people love to complain about how it tears up their pants, etc. Like, this is nowhere near Emerson territory. It's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like these scales are like lubricated in a way. Very, very slippery. So I don't know, that would be like one word of caution for using this thing, is making sure you have a good grip on it. The other thing that I noticed, there really isn't any jimping on the top right here, so it just kind of ends at the blade. And I think given how slippery these scales are, it would be nice to have a little bit of real estate back here that's do a little bit of jimping further back to give you more confidence when you're wielding this knife. Another con that I kind of saw, so I have a magnetic block in my room that I keep, whatever knives I'm, trying to carry or are in my rotation. So they sit open on this vertical magnetic block, and I picked it up yesterday, and the lock bar completely stuck when I tried to open it, which again, not mad at it because it's a $50 knife, but with that, I'm definitely going to be watching it, and every time I open it now, I kind of make sure that lock bar is actually, giving me positive lock up there, because it wasn't. I had to work it back and forth for quite some time to actually have it lock when it opens, but now it seems to be doing good. I just, it was surprising to me. It kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't because I was using it hard. It was literally just leaving the knife open for about 12 hours on my bedstand. And then finally, the con that I wanted to bring up was just the fact that, some people do have a problem with these cheaper knives because they are made in China. Again, realizing manufacturing costs, I mean, this thing would probably be $100 more if it were not made in China, if it were made in the US. Like I said before, it means a lot to some people. It doesn't really mean too much to me. I kind of judge a knife by how it performs, and so far, I'm very happy with this. So to sum things up here, again, this is the Civivi Elementum. I think this is a great all-around EDC knife for people who are kind of looking for an EDC blade that is not going to break the bank, and they won't have to sell their car if they lose it to replace it. I think this is a really good idea to purchase this. This knife also is probably really attractive to people who are just trying to like get into the knife game. There's certain knives that, although they may not be extremely well-known brands, they're kind of, the sum is bigger than its parts, and this is kind of a not an urban legend, but certainly on the knife forums that I go on, this is a hidden gem. And so if you are interested in knives, obviously I'm really into the big three, so Strider, Hinderer, and Chris Reeve. But for this price, I think this is a really great entry-level blade. It's right there, like I said. I have a mini Griptilian, which is kind of the same size. This thing was 3 times as expensive as this, and there's nothing that I've seen with this thing yet that says, oh, that justifies the cost of the Benchmade. So I would even venture to say, so far, the fit and finish of the Civivi is a lot better. It's a lot tighter lockup. It just feels better in your hand. Definitely more confidence inspiring. So if you are in the market for a knife at this price point, again, that $50 range, I know there's a lot out there as far as like SOGs go and CRKT. If you're looking for a more classy flipper design, I would definitely give it a shot. You really can't go wrong with it. Again, that's why I picked it up, just to see kind of what the buzz was. I'm going to continue to carry this thing, and I'll certainly update the video as I get more of an opinion on it, but just wanted to share that. Hope you all are having a good day, and we'll see you next time.